Hey, and welcome to another Main Contain Fishing podcast tonight, guys and ladies, and whoever else is watching and listening out there on the Paddle and Fin Network. Tonight, we got a guest on. We've had him previously. He's not new to the Main Contain Fishing podcast, but yet we're gonna talk about what is going on in the fishing industry right now and why are bass fishermen whining so bad right now. So with that, we're going to get this show kicked off. And welcome to the show, Mr. Roy Wigton.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. And thank you for coming on at the last minute for me.
Oh, no worries. I've got a special ringtone for you, so it's good.
So yeah, we're gonna see what the talk about the fishing industry is tonight, and we are just gonna kind of push into the depths of the whining going on in the bass fishing world.
Our opinions,
our thoughts,
right.
Our, I would say, future of it. But yeah, we are rocking and rolling here on the Paddle and Fin Network. As always, people, make sure you go over and like, subscribe. And if you're not already subscribed to the USA Kayak Fishing Magazine, make sure you get over to the website and subscribe to his email list. That way, when he pushes information out on the new articles, they'll be right there to your hands, in front of your eyes, as you drink this morning coffee.
And it's free.
Yep. So, as always, Mr. Roy, I'm going to let you kick it off, man. We're going to talk about the last issue that just got published and released this month.
Oh, yes.
You had an exciting cover.
Yeah, I had a great opportunity to chat with Chad, which anybody who's chatted with Chad, it's always interesting and it's a great conversation. And I was able to learn more about him than KBF. There's a lot of layers to that onion, if you will.
Right.
So it was a great experience. It's good to talk to great people. Sort of like when we chat, it's a you never know. You block off time, like clear my schedule type situation. So yeah, it was great. I found out his son is an amazing photographer. I own a photo studio as my day job, and when I asked for images, his son sent me Austin some amazing photos. So I was blessed with that.
Good. We've had Chad on the podcast, and he talked about his time and especially night fishing. And you got to beat this summer heat somehow if you like the water, get on the water to fish and things like that. So yeah, we've got a few listeners tonight, a few watchers. We got Mr. Tim Williams, Michael Bradley. Would like to welcome y'all to the show. Thank you for watching. Tim did receive his yak rod today. He did message me and told me that he received his yak rod today. So
nice.
Can't wait to see what he pumps out of them Florida waters on that yak rod. So, but yeah. So what do we have in store tonight as far as whiny bass fishermen? Grown men in the industry, you're making thousands of dollars from your sponsors, and all of a sudden this forward-facing sonar ban, everybody's hopping on the bandwagon with it, talking about it. So why not just go ahead and pump it out there, right?
Yes. So, I mean, I hear people, they're always complaining about how they're looking down at the screen. They're screen watching. Well, I remember before forward-facing sonar, they spent a lot of time looking at their screen, looking for side imaging, finding structure. Yes, when they were fishing, they were just casting to where the point was, but they still spent a lot of time looking at their screen. And I mean, I'm not turned off by that. I mean, when they put the screen up there, I do feel a lot like a ultrasound tech when they're like, there's one right there. It takes me a while to see where it is. I mean, I have forward-facing sonar on my kayak. Am I proficient? Nope. Would I be able to point something out to you? Really? No. Has it made me a better fisherman? Not at all. I rolled out on the lake with about 20 other anglers, and I had probably more in electronics than they had in their kayak, and they beat me, So it's just, I don't see it as a game changer as far as detractor, them looking at the screen. And that seems to be what they're all complaining about.
Well, yeah, if you go back to some of Hank Parker, I watch Hank Parker on YouTube a lot with his podcast and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go back to them videos back when they were fishing the tour, and they had a camera in the boat.
Yeah,
I think they were showing more face of a person, of the anglers,
right?
And I think that's what people are missing now, because you got your back turned, all you seeing is a butt shot,
But for tournaments, you don't see. That's all you see anyway,
right?
And then it's sort of like watching a competitive fishing show is a lot like watching a NASCAR race. The most exciting parts are like the crashes or the fights after the race. Well, the forward-facing sonar puts more of those action points in the show, and it's giving more entertainment to the younger generation who want to get into it. So, I mean,
yeah, because if you look at, you take some of the older guys on the tour now. Swindle's been there for a long time, and some others. Rick Clun just retired, but them guys have to adapt to that. Unlike a kid that's had it, like Trey, he's probably come up through high school with it. College, if he fished to college, I don't think he fished college at all. But these guys are coming out of high school with it, going right into a college program with it, and then coming out onto the Elite Series or stuff like that. But yeah, it's just it just catches my attention because of all the whining that goes around with it.
I think some people just feel good being upset, or it makes them feel a point of purpose if they disagree with something. I mean, it's everywhere. And I really believe the younger generation, if we get an influx of people coming in, they're drawn in by that ability to use those electronics, because that's what their skill set is. I mean, like when drones first came out, they were fun little toys. Now they're defending nations. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
It just will never stop evolving. And if it, at some point, you're going to have a forward-facing sonar where you see 3D images of what you're looking at. You'll know, okay, that's a 2-pound. I'm not going to cast that. Right. There's an 8. Let me go for that.
Yeah. So I was fishing week before last in a little community pond here locally, and they had some pallets stacked up. So I took that picture off side imaging, just took it with my cell phone. You can actually see, if you know what you're looking at on 2D side imaging, down imaging.
Yes.
Can you tell how big the fish is? No. You just have to throw to them and see if they'll bite and catch them. And
right.
But I saw the fish stacked up on these pallets, and I was able to cast to them and catch a pretty good, decent one. But are all of them in that school going to be that big? Probably so, because big fish hang around with big fish, and medium fish hang around with medium fish, and that's just my opinion,
right?
So, but yeah, it's I think all this sonar stuff's been around for a long time. The Navy's used it way before it hit the fishing market. So
Yes.
But so
But
tell us about your experience with the forward-facing sonar since you got it on your kayak, Roy. What kind of what you see as a person when you're looking at that screen, and kind of.
So when I use forward-facing sonar, and I haven't used it a whole lot, and I have the Lowrance Active Target 2, so I can see all of the structure. I can see all of the the fish, but it just doesn't. It's not as clear as my side imaging, and it's not as fun to watch to me as my side imaging. So I use it, but I don't use it as if I were a competition or I needed it to make money, because I don't do competitions. I just, um, it to me, it's more work. If someone has worked hard and perfected that technique, I think they have earned their right to use it, because it's not simple to use. It's not simple to dial in, and it's not. It's just. I would dare say it's not user friendly, but I do like it. I think it's great to have the option. And when someone tells you you can't have it, you want to have it even more.
Yeah, and I saw a video with Scott Martin and one of the other guys that he houses with during their tournaments, and
Mm-hmm.
Scott was saying that they're banning, like, I guess the jig head minnows,
Mm-hmm.
jerk baits. I'm like, man, like they did years ago with the Alabama rig, right?
Right.
So it's just weird that is a judge going to search every boat to make sure these anglers aren't got it in there?
It's going to be like a pre-check for a NASCAR race.
Yeah, for real. They're going to have to hire more people on the back end to make sure all the rules are being followed. But
and if I had to pick one thing that needs to be banned, it's live weight weigh-ins. I mean, they're so worried about these other items. I mean, you're pulling a fish out of one end of a lake and taking it all the way across and dumping it into a whole nother climate.
yeah,
It may or may not live. Now, granted, your bigger competitions have more biologists and stuff there to make sure things go right.
yeah,
But
yeah. Just like when they fish on, I think Lake Fork, the fish has to be over 22 inches,
mm-hmm.
even that, and they don't allow one fish to take to the scale to show the crowd. But yeah,
that's my opinion.
Yeah, well, in us being in the kayak world and doing the CPR stuff, and I don't. I tried to have this conversation with a guy the other day,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, "Why do I want to sit there and measure a fish and throw it back when I can take it to a scale and find out how much it weighs?" I said, "There's relevant weight." I said, "There's studies out there that shows that a 19-inch fish should weigh this. There's a 21-inch fish should weigh this, according to a lot of studies done by biologists and things like that." Now, and I think Shan O'Gorman has the best, I guess, partake on it, because he manages a fishery and
Mm-hmm.
and can show you the numbers. But yeah, it's I think they should try it at least one time.
Yeah.
One time, because you're talking, these big reservoirs. If you run 10 miles up the reservoir, you fish up there, you catch that fish at 8 o'clock in the morning. Now he's in a holding tank in your boat. You ride him around till you're weighing at 2:30,
sloshing around.
Yeah.
Even when they weigh them in the boat and measure them like that,
Yeah.
I like those as well. I've never been fond of like the weigh-ins. I've been more interested in watching the catch, the technique,
Right.
the excitement of the catch, not so much pulling up in the boat. Now, I've never been to one in person. I'm pretty sure, like when they were first a big fanfare and they pull them out and they, that might have been something to behold. But
Right. So yeah, I really think that some boat tournaments really need to get into the excuse me, into the CPR more type style fishing because there's a great format out there. Tourney X, Mr.
Yep.
Dwayne has that thing nailed down. I've never had no problem with it submitting fish. I've never had no problems judging fish. And he's kind of improved it. I was just judging fish earlier today, and I happened to see where he's added, like in the tournament, it says the biggest fish of the event. So you don't have to go back through the leaderboard to figure out who's got the biggest fish. So, but yeah,
he's a smart dude.
Yeah, and he's been doing it so damn long that and he has some hellacious programmers that know how to program it.
He's probably like that fruit phone company. He's got 10 evolutions in his mind, just holding.
Oh yeah, just holding back for the update.
Yeah, wait for the update, the release.
Yeah. But yeah, Mr. John Wilson, thank you for joining the show. Scott, thank you for joining the show as well. If y'all have any questions of us, throw them out there. I saw one question. We'll get to them later in the show. So we'll get your questions answered at the end of the show. And
so when are you putting forward facing on your rig?
And
will it work in the rivers?
It really doesn't work in the rivers as well as big reservoirs or ponds and stuff like that. But it's I don't think I would. Now, if a company came to me like Lowrance with the new one they coming out with, just especially I think they made that just for the kayak world.
The Hawkeye.
Yeah, if they said, hey, we want to give you this unit, give us your feedback, we'll give you the unit. I'll throw the Humminbird to the side and operate it for a minute and see how it does. But
yeah,
I really wanted. Go ahead, Roy.
So the reason I really wanted the forward-facing sonar wasn't necessarily because I haven't done any great fishing catches, videos, but I wanted to go and look at the places that I thought were fishy, and then scan it and see what's there. It's almost like a proof of concept in my mind. Like, okay,
right,
that should hold a bass. Look at it and see if it's there, and just take a look of, what's under the water that I'm missing. That's really what I was looking forward to.
Yeah, I really think just developing the down imaging or side imaging, and even in the forward-facing sonar world, is you're not fishing dead water. If you're sitting there fishing and fishing and fishing and not catching anything, are the fish staged in that area, or where are they at? That's the big thing. And with you talking about me using it on the river, I don't see it a beneficial on a river, especially when you're floating a river with all them logs and crap under the water.
Right.
I would just end up breaking a transducer and it'd be flapping in the wind back there. But yeah, right. I don't see me going to it anytime soon because I can catch fish with side imaging and down imaging. If I can find them on side imaging, looking, I got mine set for 45. So if I can find them out on something, or if I can find structure out there and I can kind of go over there and kind of go over it with side imaging and kind of see where they're staged at, things like that. So
right. If you told me I had to get rid of one thing, my side imaging or my power pole, I'd keep my power pole. Yeah.
That's something I hadn't even thought of in the talking about the fishing industry. Power poles come out with, they had it for boats. Now they've come out with kayaks, and now they've come out with their own trolling motor.
Yes.
Everything else.
And they put them on kayaks too.
Yeah. So, with me fishing a lot of, I think it'd be beneficial for me if I used a power pole,
Yes.
for bed fishing, if I'm fishing beds or fishing very shallow water, or if you're fishing a river that's shallow and you get into a shallow place you want to kind of pick apart, and you just
Yes.
power pole down, and that that current will keep you straight, but that power pole will keep you in place.
Right. Yeah, I absolutely love it. I mean, before I was trying to use a anchor wizard,
Yeah.
and I could never. And I mean, I'm sure it's just user error, but whenever I would let it down, it would always make that loud blow.
Yeah.
And then I had one both bow and stern to keep me from twisting. And then I got the power pole and hit that button one time, and I'm locked right in there. Take into account for the drift of the wind or weight current, and I'm right there. So
yeah, it's I've used downrigger ball with a piece of paracord just to kind of keep me in place if I'm fishing out deep or something. I need to kind of but my front of my kayak's doing this, blowing from right to left and left to right. But
I've seen some kayaks with two power poles on the back, and I'm like, man,
yeah, that's a
output expense.
Why would you have two power poles on a kayak?
Because they go down, your bow won't turn.
Yeah, that's right.
They're just locking one spot.
Yeah, so it's putting kind of tension on that on each side of the kayak. Yeah, so, but yeah, it's there's a lot to talk about in the fishing industry. Golly, who's going to release the new boat next year, or
and who's going to complain about it not being a kayak?
Yeah, with the new Bonafide being released and the new Wilderness being released. Everybody's saying, well, that's just a plastic John boat. That's just a plastic John boat.
Yeah, I don't know where you make that determination.
Yeah.
And I think it's a personal thing. I mean, if you could paddle it from sitting in the center without having to switch side to side, I think it's close enough to a kayak.
Yeah. Who was it? Big Sky? Wasn't it Big Sky that made that pontoon looking thing?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Had the big raised seat on it. Never really heard any more people complaining about that. Like they have the new Bonafide and the new Wilderness.
I think it's the screenshot they took where they had the forced perspective where he looked so small and it looked so huge.
Yeah.
That just sort of triggered everybody. There was like, oh my gosh, look how huge that is.
Well, if you go to Chad's video, him and Gene Jensen, Fluke Master, are in that boat together.
Yes.
And I think Chad's actually standing up in the front and Gene's in the back sitting down, and you're like, holy crap, for us big boys, I'm 6'3" and 280. I got to have a boat that won't flip on me.
Right. Well, I mean, the Unlimited is that's a chunk of a boat too.
Yeah.
And
so what's the weight capacity for the Unlimited?
With the scuppers closed, 650.
So it's not even a little bit more than the F12 I got.
Right.
Yeah. So it's just a little wider boat and longer boat, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what Blake and them did at New Canoe. I think when they come out with the Unlimited, and then when they come out with the U10, the U10 is, I think they geared that more towards creek and river fishing to make it more slick and more maneuverable than swift water.
Yeah, I feel like the U10 is like that perfect bridge gap to get you into the river.
Yeah,
I wouldn't do well in a river with with my rig. Be high centered. You have to come back for me.
Which I've done my boat in the. Hang on, have I put it? Yeah, I put it in the Kunichi or the Ogeechee River. With my seat in the high spot. So yeah, it's you kind of have to know the river that you're fishing in order to stay safe. So
most definitely.
But yeah, you got anything you want to shoot out, Roy? You shoot it out, man. And
so we've hit on tournaments. I wrote down some things, and
Let's go back to tournaments just a minute.
Yeah.
Let's go back to kayak tournaments. John Rapp and Dwayne Whaley had a podcast last night on the Rusty Hook podcast. And the title was, is kayak fishing, I guess, in the downslope or the upslope, whatever you want to call it. So what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's coming down from where it was with the pandemic. Of course, everybody knows that.
Right.
And I think it's gonna level out. But I think with the uptick of the younger generation getting in with all of the social media, the influencers, and the forward-facing sonar options for them, I think that once they realize they can get off the bank and into kayaks, they're going to start working their way in, and it's going to start to grow back up. Because there's a lot of people I see online that are just younger generation, and they don't have the money yet to get a kayak. Once they get to that level where they can make the transition from bank to boat, I think it's going to start to climb back up. I will say that as far as companies go, every time I call someone about the magazine, I can tell that they're on the same concern of, we're coming to the end of the season. We're starting to transition over to the hunting portion of our lives, and looking forward to 2025. So right now we're on the downslope of the year, but I think as an industry, it's going to tick back up. I really do, because everyone that I see someone out, because I volunteer for Heroes on the Water whenever I can, and anybody in the uniform, hand them a card and say, you should check them out, and we talk about fishing, and they're all about fishing, and they're all about getting on the water, don't know how, mention kayaks, and they want to explore that option more. So I feel there's an education portion for the people on the banks to get into a boat. They have to know that there's an option of a kayak. So once they get that option delivered to them, I think it's going to really start to grow. So just basically, if the cards are played correctly and the information is put out there for everyone, not just the people that fish tournaments or that had a brain moment. If there's a proper education in place for people to learn about the kayaking industry, then it's definitely going to grow. Right. I feel like a lot of people are just sitting back on what they've done in their past. They're not looking for new business outside of, let's say you had a son and your son's going to be getting a kayak. That's really what I feel they're looking for. They're only advertising in their own bubble, if you will.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So I go kind of adding to that, Roy. I had a chat with a father the other day that his son fishes out of a bass boat in high school, and I asked him the question. I said, "Why did y'all choose that route?" And he said, "Well, my son loves to fish. The high school don't back the club at all. All the parents, try to raise money to send these kids to these fishing tournaments." And I said, look, I'm not trying to get into your personal business about your finances or anything like that. But I said, look, on the average, if you buy a decent bass boat with all the electronics, you're already in probably about the $40,000 to $50,000 range, right? I said, if he loves to fish that much, I said, there's other opportunities out there for him to compete.
Right.
And to grow his level of competition to get into the Hobie BOS or the Bassmaster Kayak Series or, some of these state level, like the Georgia Bass Nation, things like that at a lower cost.
Right.
And I think all these young kids nowadays, and I kind of picked this with Andy Middleton when I did the podcast with him, is how do we get that group of kids to come to our world out of that bass boat world.
Right.
And
well, you'd have to get them before they got there.
yeah,
You definitely would have to, because if you can afford a bass boat, I mean, bass boats are pretty cool. They go really fast. They're sparkly. They attract people like myself who are like, ooh. But I mean, if you look at it, I mean, some of those bass boats are what, $120,000. They're crazy. You could buy 2 kayaks, a trailer, and a truck for that kid, and still have money left over. So, maybe some type of clubs in schools, just not like a career day, but just because I know my son, they had a fishing club. He didn't want to join it because he doesn't fish as much as I do. He was more interested in his own thing, which is okay. But I was like, where do they fish? And they fish in the pond right outside of the school. And I'm like, oh, do they do kayaks or anything like that? They didn't. So I was going to offer to go in and take a kayak, show them what the options are, show them what it is, and go from there. But they were stuck on the bank fishing because the person who was teaching the club was teaching it because he had to, not necessarily because he wanted to.
Right.
But showing them the options of, you can get a kayak that can fit on top of your car, maybe not ours, but you can get one.
Right.
You can go almost anywhere, put it in the water, and you're able to fish or just cruise and enjoy the evening. So,
yeah, for sure, it's and I know Ron Champion lives down in Richmond Hill, which is south of me here, and he's a big, he fished the Hobies and things like that, and he kind of took over the Georgia high school kayak stuff, and but I really want to kind of pick his brain a little bit and kind of see how we can go back and try to get more kids in the state of Georgia involved, and maybe it will trickle over to some other states.
Well, see, the people that should be doing this are in my opinion, people spearheading it should be the kayak manufacturers, because they want to build their future clientele.
Right.
Maybe not fund it all, but just basically come up with the idea, join together, create some type of federation, if you will, and then disseminate it throughout the school systems would be the best way to do that. Because right now we're looking to get people in it, and they're the only ones other than tournaments that would benefit from it monetarily. Like the more work you do, the better they are.
Yeah, for sure. If you got with Crescent, if you got with New Canoe, Hobie, whatever kayaks out on the market now,
yes,
Bonafide, Wilderness, you say, hey, let's come as one big group in a big convention center, put all our heads together and say, hey, how can we get, you're gonna have them kids that's gonna strictly be bass boat kids.
Yes.
But what if that one kid in that club says, you know what, I'm fishing as a co-angler, I'm really not grasping this bass boat stuff, I kind of want to do it on my own. That's the kid that we want to grab and put in a kayak.
Yes.
And say, hey, this is the world you need to be in. So it's just it's a part of the industry that a lot of people would have to be involved in order to get people in the right direction, if you know what I'm saying.
But I think it will happen too, because a lot of the companies were bought by venture capitalists. All these big companies bought up these smaller businesses in the fishing industry. And if the powers that be see they're losing money on the older generation, and they know that the younger generation is their future cash outlet, they're going to start to find a way to make that happen through advertising or whatever, or just shut it down, which I don't foresee that happening.
Right. And this is kind of leading into something else, but I saw another video. I watch a lot of videos when I'm on night shift.
I never watch videos.
But social media, you
Mm-hmm.
know, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever's out there, YouTube, things like that. You know, a lot of these older generation guys that's on the bass boat, or I've heard some of them complain, well, I don't want to be on TikTok. I don't want to have a Facebook, YouTube
Yes.
channel. But the industry is seeing that and saying, hey, Daniel Woodcock is using this rod and reel. He's got 1.3 million followers all on his social media. Let's reach out to him so he can sell our stuff on the back end.
Yes.
But it's just, it's a lot of whining. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
So,
I mean,
what is your take? Let me get your take as a magazine developer, publisher,
mm-hmm.
and the social media part of it. Do you think, as a fishing industry person, do you have to have the following there on social media in order to grow into the industry?
So I'm going to say yes and no. It all depends on where you want to grow to. If you're going to be a community angler in a tournament series, you can grow in that tournament series through wins versus social media.
Right.
If you want to be known in California and you're in Georgia, then you have to be in the social media circle. You have to be on there in some form and fashion. Now, I know the formula. It's basically post a lot, post all the time, be in front of, like, I have ideas in my mind for videos, but I'm busy doing other things and I don't make the videos. So you need to put out the content. And sometimes it doesn't even have to be relevant content. Like if you watch people walking out to their boat and just rearranging their baits, talking about stuff, they get tons of hits off that. It's just content that's regular and comes out all the time. Sort of like your podcast. It plays this day, this time, and people get set to watching it. They'll be there that day, that time. And if you're not there on that day and that time, they move on to someone else who is.
Right. So let's take this example from Brian Latimer. I was recently on his Straight Up Fishing School, but if you look at his social media, he's posting something about twice a day, 7 days a week, and so that as a father, he's working, he's taking care of children, his wife, your home life. Then you're trying to create all this content to keep your brand or yourself in the limelight of this fishing industry. And it's just, sometimes it will overwhelm you.
Yes. But to be honest with you, like if I'm honest with myself, because I could tell you, I could agree and say, yeah, it's way too much. But a lot of times we become complacent with taking the break or complacent with not doing it. Whereas this is an iPhone. It has better technology than probably every movie we watched as kids. I can hit record. I can do something within, 30 seconds. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It can just be like, hey, I'm on live with Daniel Woodcock. Come see us. It's going to be a great time. Boom, post, done. It counts as content.
Right.
It just adds to the pile. You don't have to put a handful of sand in the bucket. 1 grain adds to the bucket. You just do that all the time. And if it's something you're doing, more than likely someone wants to see you do it. Like going out and checking the connectors on your fish finder, checking for corrosion. It's
Right.
I'm just checking. You get on there like, hey, this is Daniel. I'm coming out checking my fish finder. I've got a tournament coming up this weekend. I just want to make sure all my connectors are in good shape. Pull it off, look for it. If they were bad, they would look like this. If they were bad, I would do this. Take care of your gear. It'll take care of you. Have a good day. You're done.
Right.
So not everything has to be the production value of setting up the lights and the camera. You don't have to have. I'm the king of I'd love to have. I'd love to have 4 more lights set up in here. I'd love to have the blue strobe behind me, but you don't need it to be relevant.
Right. And Christina has told me this a lot lately is just be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Just people want to see the natural part of you. Um, you could, I could go to SCAD right now
Mm-hmm.
and go around there and say, hey, I need 3 camera people. And because they need the experience as students to
Mm-hmm.
say, hey, I've worked with this guy. I've produced shows for him. I've edited for him. And they can put all this elaborate work in these editing things, but some people just get turned off of that. They just want to kind of see yourself with a
Yes.
fishing pole in a river or a pond fishing without
Yes.
all this elaborate, all these drone shots and a lot
I
of
do.
B-roll.
I do think there's still a place for the long form content, like a really well laid out thing. But you almost have to do it like the Mr. Beast style, where you
Right.
set all your expectations up front. I hate when I go to watch a video and you're 20 minutes or 10 minutes into it and you don't even realize what's the plot of this, what's going to happen. Oh man, his name is failing me. And I feel really bad about that, but he's an angler from California. And oh my goodness,
Greg Blanchard?
Greg, yes. Oh my goodness. Sorry, Greg, if you're listening. But I love watching his videos because, like, when you go there within the first 30 seconds, in this video something that's going to happen. At some point in this video, he's going to lose his drone, or he's going to drop his lure overboard, or he's going to catch this large fish. Then you watch it, and okay, there's when that moment happened. But it's full of content in there that keeps you waiting for that moment. But those take a lot of years of planning and time. He's got the great long form pattern. But as far as short form stuff, I mean, you could just get in there with your phone and just talk to your phone. Just learn your techniques of keeping the phone still. Because if it's jumpy and jittery, or if you have poor audio, people they're not gonna love it.
Right. Yeah, and that's and I think that's what a lot of these companies are looking for is people keeping it real.
Mm-hmm.
People can have a smooth edit. I'm not saying movie quality edit.
Right.
I'm just talking about smooth editing and just and telling a story or telling them what the video is about. Constantly talking and you know everybody wants to see everybody catch fish, right? Mm-hmm. On video. Nobody's going to watch your content if you pump out 20 videos in a row with no fish catches. Right. But if you have that one bad day, Greg's done it numerous times on his channel.
Mm-hmm.
Gone and said, look, this is my worst day ever on the California Delta.
And I still watch it.
And you still watch it because he can tell a story like nobody can. He's probably one of the.
Plus, he does something.
He'd be one of my top 5 YouTubers out there.
Right, and he does something that, from a photographer, videographer end of it, mm-hmm. he does editing when it's very rarely that the same scene is on the screen more than 2, maybe 3 seconds. It's like cut.
Right.
And to some people, that's very annoying. But to the younger generation, your attention span is only in that window. And if he changes it, it's like you're watching 4,000 mini clips.
Yeah.
So you're on board with it. But to the thought process of a bad day. So when you leave the dock, everything you're doing, someone else has never done. Someone somewhere has never launched their kayak. They've never gotten into their kayak. They've never paddled away from the shore enough before their motor can go down. Right. You could just do a quick video. Hey, if you get a motor, don't drop that thing right here because you'll be dragging through the rocks. Make sure you're out far enough, whatever. It sounds silly, but people don't know. One thing, when I was younger, we went clamming and we caught a bunch of clams. There was water in the boat, and the guy that was running the boat had the plug on the inside, pulled the plug. We're going full tilt, and it drained while we were underway. Like it just sucked all the water right out of it.
Yeah.
So that right there would be something, if you did and showed, would just not necessarily everyone has seen that. So it gets you views of something different, something new. But
it's all about keeping that attention span, because like Roy and myself, a person's attention span is.
I'm surprised we made it this long, you and I.
But yeah, it's just the short form content is really taking off on different platforms. Instagram started with Reels, Facebook's got it with Reels and Stories now, but they're the same owners. But
yes,
then YouTube started their shorts, and TikTok came along. But yeah, it's just I'm very surprised that people are still whining about the social media, and that's where I was trying to get to. And
there will be something else that pops up that will make them unhappy. A lot of people just don't like change,
right?
And things are really hard until you start doing them. At one point I went to the gym all the time. First time I went, I hated it. About the 10th time in, it was like, okay, it's Tuesday, I have to go. It's just something I have to do. It becomes a muscle memory. Sort of like you in law enforcement and training. Right. First time you had to do one of your drills, you're like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
The next thing you know, you're stacked up on the SWAT team.
Yeah. I've done that many a nights and days.
Pulling down the nods.
But yeah, it's the fishing industry as a whole, Roy, is a great tool for everybody.
Oh yeah.
It releases stress. It gets you out of whatever you're doing. It clears your mind, and that's probably one thing I need to take my content calendar I got down here on the ground and say, no, this is a fishing day.
Yes.
Get away from the content creation, but still film it as you go out. But enjoy your time for that day.
I always feel guilty when I take a fishing day, unless I'm doing something like Heroes on the Water.
Yeah.
I don't feel guilty doing that because I feel like it's giving back, purpose driven. But if I say I'm just going to go fishing today, even though I'm videoing it, I'm like, okay, I'm missing something somewhere. I'm not doing something with the magazine. I'm not returning a call. I need to be doing something here. So that's where my shortcoming is with going fishing. If I were going fishing with you and we're getting content for the magazine, that's good. But if it's just me fishing, I am not the strong 10-pound bass catcher every single time. If I can go out and catch something that's substantial, make a video of it, get a bunch of hits, good to go.
Right.
My biggest hits are the fat guy getting in the boat.
Which I've had my mistakes getting in the boat. Like almost falling out, going head over, but it's
my most favorite.
It's something that you definitely have to work on.
My favorite was the first sit on top kayak I had. I went to a local lake, and I didn't know that there was a mud bank, and I pulled it into the water, stepped to it, and I slid all the way under the kayak in front of like 8 people. Just boom, gone. Yeah.
So it's been a great conversation, Roy. Golly, we've been 50 minutes in, man. It don't even seem like we've been 10 minutes in, but yeah, this I just want to say to people, quit whining so much and just fish. If you let's go back to the old days. I can remember my granddaddy used to take a notebook or a pad, write down, okay, today's date is September 4th, It was cloudy. The barometric pressure was this, and I caught fish on point.
Opening the Farmer's Almanac.
Yeah, moon phases.
Mm-hmm.
Had little fish, like it had a calendar, and it had like great fishing days or like semi fishing. The little fish would be colored halfway through, say, "Oh, this is like a mediocre day." But
yeah, I think people are inherently going to be wanting what other people have, and when they can't have it or don't want to take the time to have it, then they want to complain about it. Like the guy walking wants to be on the bus. The guy on the bus wants to be in a car in a plane, and so on. No matter where you are, you're never going to be happy unless you work for it.
Yeah. I'm gonna get on the spill right quick, and it ain't gonna take me about a minute to say this, but I have people at work. We supply you with a car, uniforms, the gas for that car.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what else? Where else can you go to work to get all that?
Yeah.
The only thing that you have to buy is your underwear and your socks.
Yeah.
Everything else is given to you.
I was an automotive technician for the first portion of my life. And I worked some places where they gave you nothing. So I went to CarMax, and they bought 350 people breakfast. They got them bacon, egg, and cheese biscuits. We're walking outside. This guy's like, McDonald's biscuit. Could they have done any less? I'm like, yeah, they could have. My whole life they have.
Yeah.
They got cheese, man. They got you cheese.
Yeah.
It's perspective. It's like, do you deserve any more? Have you worked for it? Have you tried? No. So.
Right. So before we close out this show, Roy, I kind of want to got a question up here that Mr. Michael Bradley asked. And he says, well, how about floggers? You know what a flogger is?
No, and I'm afraid to Google
it. So it's like it looks like a scope.
Oh.
But it's just real big on the end, and you stick it down in the water, and you just, I think I saw.
For a smallmouth, right?
Yeah, for smallmouth.
Yeah.
I think the first YouTube I ever saw it on was Tyler Fishing. And then the second one was Jacob Wheeler using it in a tournament. So I don't know how Bassmaster or whoever.
I have seen those in some competitions, but I mean, it's low budget live scope.
Look on a rock pile.
Yeah. Boop, there it is.
Have you cameraman? Hey, there they are.
Or aqua view.
To the left a little bit.
Lower down to aqua view.
Yeah. Like my father-in-law always says, Bill Dance had a frogman down there putting on them bass on his hook for him.
You never know.
Bill
Dance was quite the entertainer.
Yeah.
Still is.
Yeah. So kind of want to give a shout out to John. He said he went fishing today on the Oconee River all day and caught a big limit. Had a great day. Congratulations, John, on your catches.
Tim says you need a power pole.
Yeah, I might have to look into one. I might have to use the old.
Hey, my birthday's coming up next month. Get one for yourself. Tell the wife, what is Roy's birthday?
Hey, my birthday's coming up this month, actually.
Heck yeah. The one thing I will say with the power pole, it was like one of those tiered purchasing things that I was not prepared for.
Yeah.
Because you get the unit. I was like, okay, that's cool. Oh, I need a battery? I got a battery. Cool. Where's the pole? I got to buy the pole? Okay, buy the pole. It was like, when man, they get you. I'm like,
yeah. I have been looking at Yak Gadget. John Thomas. I met him down at ICAST. Very good guy. He's got these poles that are manual. You pull a little. I've been looking at them.
They're really good. I like the power pole just because it's
the power. Button.
But he's really designed those so that they work really, really well.
And it comes with a pole.
It does. It does.
But
no power needed.
Yeah, no power needed. Just hope your rope don't break and you don't have to crawl back there and pick it up, right? But yeah, it's
Bill says he works with the Howl And yeah, I love working with Heroes on the Water. They're great people. I am not military, but they definitely they tease me like I am.
Right. But yeah, it's been a great show, Roy. As always, man. As always, love talking with you, man.
Yeah, it's a blast.
Yeah. It wasted an hour out of my time. I don't know what the Braves score is. Anybody tell me what the Braves were winning tonight against the Rockies?
I don't even watch basketball.
But nah, Christina's probably never watching the game.
I haven't heard her scream.
Yeah, I hadn't heard her scream yet.
Got beeping curse words.
But yeah, so what's the future? What I kind of cut you off a while ago, but I want to kind of know what the future of USA Kayak Fishing Magazine is in store for the rest of the year, and
so
what
right
you got?
now,
Kind of give us a rundown of the first quarter of 2025.
So right now, for the end of the year, we're working on a holiday buyer's guide. So I'm reaching out to professional anglers and companies, sort of like what's new, what to put in there. I've got some ICAST stuff I'm going to throw in there, just as a what they recommend you should get for your kayak. Like what are their top fives, and then go through some of the other companies that have advertised in the magazine and basically get them to send me a couple items to list in there. Then we're going to have the December issue coming out. Working on that as we speak. So we'll see who is there, who's going to be in that and what it's going to be about. And then hopefully if things continue down the path, I want to go to bi-monthly in 2025. It takes a lot. So I need a lot of people to subscribe so I can get my numbers up. I need them to read it. If you don't like it, let me know so I can change it around. I'd much rather someone read it and go, I don't like this. And if everyone says that, I can make it so that it fits their needs. So that way going into 2025, I have the numbers to go to people and say, here's why you need to advertise in my magazine so that I continue to keep it free and keep content coming. Because I have a lot of content that can be put in the magazine. I just don't have the staffing to do it because I'd like to hire someone to do layout. I like to hire someone to do articles. You know what I'm saying? Just so I can, if I wanted to drive to Georgia and see you fish, I could do that.
Right.
Or if I wanted to go to some of the other Heroes on the Water events, I could do that. Right now, I'm locked in where I'm at. But I do have plans for it to grow. I would love to see it go to monthly. And I've had a lot of people ask about print issues. I don't really want to go to print until I have the numbers to support that, because I think that would be a huge transition.
Right. Yeah. And a lot of cost as well. You know, the print issue, and
you send out 60,000, they send 45 back.
Yeah. Yeah. So everybody, if you're listening, if you're watching, if you're going to be listening to this as a replay on Spotify, on the Paddle and Fin Network, make sure you are subscribed to USA Kayak Fishing Magazine. There's some great people that put out some great content in there, some great interviews with the fishing industry.
I think we know one of them.
No, we don't know anybody.
No.
But yeah, and just kind of break down the rest of my year. We're closing out the season on the kayak Georgia Tour Kayak Series. We had to move the championship round to October 26th on Lake Blackshear. We're fishing the Kayak Online Series. It's finishing up in October. We got a hell of a Angler of the Year race going on there.
Heck yeah.
So once we get everything finalized, Roy, we'll be pushing some articles your way.
Heck yeah.
And
I appreciate it.
And for 2025, man, it's going to be content creation, blogging.
Yes.
Golly, it's going to be busy for me. Be pumping out 4 podcasts a month. So it's this.
You've got a heck of a content manager over there. So
yeah, she's really pumping out some good stuff for me, and I appreciate her a lot. I couldn't do it without her.
I would like to say, publicly, I appreciate everything that you both have done. Your articles have been great in the magazine, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And so,
Well,
and you've done some great things too. It's kind of cool to watch how you're growing and how the magazine's growing too. So,
right. Yeah, it's kind of weird how things just kind of start coming together on the back end. You work so hard on the front end, and then it's you kind of say, "Wow, man, do I really want to continue the way I've been going, or do I want to kind of slow down a little bit and kind of?" And but after ICAST, Christina set in some classes down there and said, "Let's whip it. Got to whip it."
Oh yeah.
So yeah, she's got some things going for me, and I know we've been talking about some things that we're fixing to publish on the website. We're trying to get all that finalized, and so it's going to be like a one-stop shop for kayak anglers. Don't want to put too much out there. I just want to kind of be a surprise for everybody. Yeah. So
keep it on the hush hush.
But yeah, we had a great show tonight, man, and thank you for joining me at the last minute. As always, if you need anything, reach out to me, man. We'll
heck yeah,
we'll get it. Mr. Bill Snyder, we will, from the Main Contained Fishing Podcast, we want to say good luck and hope you bring home the championship on Cayuga. So
Bill might be in the magazine.
Yeah, if he wins it, you need to get him in, Roy.
Come on, Bill.
You got to win it. He might even put you on the cover.
Maybe.
But as always, people, thank you for watching, listening, taking time out of your evening to watch two fools discuss the whining and crying in the bass fishing industry.
As best we can.
Yeah, as best as we can. But yeah, if you're not subscribed already to my YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, go over Southeast Georgia Kayak Bass Fishing. Roy, shout out your socials real quick.
At USA Kayak Fishing on most of the platforms, and usakayakfishingmagazine.com.
Go subscribe.
Yeah.
Go subscribe.
I heard Lawrence is starting to add a box of tissues to every live scope so you can give them to your friends.
I got my crying towel right there.
Yeah. I think we both just got canceled.
So thank you for watching, folks. As always, if you're on the water, wear your PFD and fish on.